This is your show, brother. But, you invite me on here to help you out from time to time. But I kind of want to pull this thing back in for a second. I just kind of want to take this over. I mean, you ask me questions, you talk to me. But, dude, let's talk about you. Let's talk about Tigs.
I'm not sure.
Questions. No, that's where we're going to start. That's where we're going to
really.
I have taken this show over. This is exactly what we want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, I know you love fishing. I know you love food. And I know you love some LSU football. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that, like, these are just kind of innate. Like, if you've done a show for 10 minutes, people pick up on that pretty quick. Right?
Yeah, I would think so. I'm not hiding those things.
Tell us some things we don't know about you, you know?
I feel like I'm on Donahue right now. Number one.
That was a Donahue move.
An absolute Donahue move. Man, I tell you, there's not a lot that you really want to hear about that can be told. Let's be honest. But I do love to fish. I used to love to hunt. I don't like to hunt anymore. I don't get to fish nearly as much as I used to, but I do love fishing, and I look forward to starting to get to fish with my son a lot more, because that's what I did. That's what you knew of whenever you and I met in Florida. And had my boat there. Didn't get to, even back then, I didn't get to go fish as much as I would like to, but I still would go to Lake Seminole and catch them. Cade would go with me occasionally.
You're a big bass fisherman back in the day, right?
Yeah, I fished a lot. Yeah, I did. I fished a lot of tournaments.
You competed, didn't you? Yeah,
I did compete. I did. I did well at the club level, and in the Manny Bass Club, which is a big bass club, and still is. They have a lot of members. I'm not sure how many they have now, but there have been some good fishing hands that came out of the Manny Bass Club, and Toledo Bend, which is where I grew up. Toledo Bend, of course, being known as one of the best, if not the best, bass fishing lake in America at times, and then so fortunate to be close to not only growing up around Toledo Bend, but by Sam Rayburn, which is not far from Toledo Bend. They're sister lakes, and at times fish very similarly, and at times they couldn't fish more differently, even at the same time of year. But two really, really good options. One more money fishing on Sam Rayburn. Not that I won a ton of money in that little time frame, but did win some money, won way more on Sam Rayburn than I could on my home lake on Toledo Bend. But love to fish. Of course, love the LSU Tigers. I do look forward to having some podcasts or having a podcast around tailgating, and in particular the Cajun Tiger tailgate, my tailgating crew. I need to have Darren on.
Great crew. I've experienced it only once, but it was phenomenal. Like, it was great. Great crew.
You get that every game. 100%. That's what you're going to get. It doesn't matter who we're playing. Darren, the main headmaster, if you will, the king, as he is referred to, he's fantastic with it. All the credit goes to him. I do nothing. They'll happily tell you that. But I do help to bring people to the tailgate. Not that it really needs a whole hell of a lot of help, but we do fun. So I do want to talk about that at some point this season with Darren, and kind of where the whole story of it, because I know the story, of course, but it needs to be shared, and it needs to come from his point of view. And then, of course, you nailed it with food, Chad. No doubt. Love barbecue. Love all types of food. What a treat to be able to receive that tri-tip that you had sent to me. Just unbelievable. Just that type of stuff. I mean, that's it doesn't get any better. It's one of the nicest gifts I've ever received from anybody. I mean, that's just awesome. You know, somebody buys me a pack of ribeyes. That's like buying a lady a dozen roses or something. That's beyond my love language. I mean, I don't know what to do, but you're in a robe right now, so I need to keep my thoughts pure and clean.
No, absolutely. And I'll tell you honestly, how I arrived at buying you that fine tri-tip is I was going on, and I was like, so my old neighbor who used to live next door, he's from Illinois. He's the one that turned me on to this. And he's a hell of a grill guy. I mean, this dude, he's one of those science dialed in, everything's specific. It's phenomenal. I'm a little more loose, right? Like I run temperature and I do that, but I'm a little more loosey-goosey. I like to go with the feel of the meat, you know, like what's the meat talking to me? You know what I mean? Like, so mine's not as science driven, but he did introduce me to this company, Snake River Farms, and he brought that tri-tip in and cooked it one night, and it was phenomenal. So I texted him. I was like, man, what's the name of that company that you got, that you tell me about, that you get that tri-tip sent in? And he told me Snake River Farms. So I went on the website. Saturday night, been a fun day down in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. You know, I think I'd seen some music that day, and
sure.
I think it was when I saw Sam Bush. I'd just come off. Sam Bush sat in with Dre Clampett, and unbelievable show. I was just feeling magical. So I got home and wanted to order that tri-tip. So I went to order it, and then it was like, one tri-tip was like $90. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm still going to do it because I ate it. It was unbelievable. And it was like, order $140 and get, or $50 or whatever it was. It was like, and get $40 off. And I was like, so if I guess I got to get 2 tri-tip, you know? And I'm like, what am I going to do with the other one? And dude, first thing that popped in my brain was your face, you know? And it was like, there was Brantley just sitting there. I was like, I'm going to send one to Brantley. And I was like,
yeah.
I bet you can't designate the delivery. And it was like, first address, second address. And I was like, holy shit, these guys know exactly what I'm thinking, you know? Like,
not the first time somebody's done this.
It was so easy. It wasn't complicated. It was just, it was right there. First address, second address. They knew you were sending that thing to 2 different addresses. They're like, oh, you're getting some extra meat for somebody, aren't you? And I'm like, absolutely, I am. It was great. Got tracking numbers on both, and meat was phenomenal. So there's my thought process when I gave you. No, I wanted to give it to you. It's the first person I wanted to give it to. Like, you're the first person that popped in my brain. So, but that's how I arrived at that, you know. So
what's so awesome about that is that's a brilliant move for Snake River Farms, because you know, if you're splitting an order, somebody is one of the orders that split's going to most likely be a gift. That gift is going to go to somebody, and they're going to be so damn impressed when they open that box and you take the lid off and it's packed in dry ice, and that dry ice just starts to smoke. It's almost like there are lights underneath, and the thing starts to beam up, and then you take it out and it's just this most glorious, hard frozen, I mean rock hard frozen still piece of beef. And they want you to only thaw it out naturally. Put it in the refrigerator. Give it 24 hours. Let it thaw out before, you cook it or do anything. Like, you almost don't even want to take it out of the package. The quality for that big of a piece of meat for $70, $80, $90, that's really not that bad of a price. It's $30 a piece. It fed the whole family. We all 3 of us ate on that. They ate half of it one night. And then I vacuum sealed it, dropped it back in the sous vide the next night, and reheated it. And it was tasted just like it did the night before. And also made some amazing twice baked potatoes to go with it, and some bacon wrapped asparagus just to top it all off. It was a fantastic meal.
Oh, it was so good. So good. So Yeah, I mean,
so yeah, you know my love languages. You got it. Fishing.
Yeah. Fishing, tailgating with LSU football, and and bringing it in with some damn food.
Yeah, I mean that I think that sums it up pretty well. That's who I am. Concerts, love to go to concerts, of course,
100%
and music. That's I mean that's up there, big time, definitely big up time.
So outside of the obvious, when we meet you, I mean that's good. That's a good break. Well, actually, I want to back up. What's that fishing rig you showed me that time with the weights on the bottom, the worms up top? What's that rig you call it? Is it a Texas rig or a?
Yeah, that's a. You're probably thinking where I had a weight and then
I actually
a leader
saw a video on YouTube,
and
it's like a fishing show you did. I found it one time, and there's Brantley Salter giving us lessons on fishing, and you're talking about that rig that you came up with.
Yeah. I don't even remember where I filmed that. That was definitely back in my fishing days and before YouTube. I think that was actually done on like a fishing show that was done on Cox Sports here in Louisiana. I used to be on the show. It was called Paradise, Louisiana. And you're exactly right. I did do a thing on it. That's called a Carolina rig. So with a Carolina
rig, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
With a Carolina rig, you have a weight, and then you have a swivel, and a weight and a bead and a swivel, and then you have a leader, and then you have a hook. Now, then the bait drags kind of behind it a little bit, but what it does is it just makes it whatever floats, that worm or whatever, it gives it a natural kind of look. And yeah, I smoke them on that. Still catch them on that. It's one of the most underrated things that there is. And I learned that from a really, really good friend of mine named Kelvin Matthews. He taught me how to fish a Carolina rig. And I've had other friends, Chuck Barden, Bradley Marr, other people that really taught me how to fish a lot of other ways and things like that. But Kelvin Matthews really, that was his thing. And he taught me how to fish that. He passed away a little over a year ago. And he's a good fishing buddy of mine, and it sucks. Don't get to fish with him anymore. But that's what that rig was. I mean, that was one of my specialties. I guess you could still say that it is. But then they also have a thing called it's called a drop shot. So the weight is on the bottom of the line, on the bottom, and then there's a hook up above, and then you put like a straight worm on that hook that's up here, and you just kind of shake your rod, and it goes down vertically, and you shake it, and fish eat it up. It's crazy. I'm not that thing exactly like that. And other people have a lot of people fish it. I don't fish it as much as others because I just catch them on the Carolina rig. So whatever. But yeah,
I've used that same rig in the Bay. So you told me all about the Carolina rig. I couldn't remember the name. I knew it was a state, but I knew the rig. And dude, same thing with live shrimp.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God, it's just the way to go, dude.
Yeah,
it's I've sat there in places fishing off, especially doing some piling fishing and stuff when I'm dropping, and people are sitting 2 pilings away, and they're just sitting there, and we're just absolutely wearing them out. And they're kind of looking at us, as they're like tight lining or doing whatever they're doing, And I'm like, I'm not some expert fisherman. I watched Brantley Salter on video on YouTube or whatever the heck it was, one of those video outlets at the time. And that's a good.
Well, and it works for that. It definitely works for that. You can use live shrimp. You can use fake shrimp. I've used that fishing in saltwater. I mean, it works in salt and fresh water. They don't really call it a Carolina rig in the saltwater, but it's what it is. And granted, you're using different size line whenever you're fishing in salt water because bigger fish than you're fishing for in fresh water, and the sharper teeth. They all have teeth, not something you have to deal with for the most part with freshwater fish unless you're messing with gar.
So Brantley, let me ask you a question. Let's get down to brass tacks here. So, here's the things that most people know about you, right? I mean, you know, if they don't, they do now. I mean, fishing, tailgating, food. Give us a little known fact about Brantley Salter. I mean, like something that maybe I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like just something like, here's an interesting fact. You know, what you got? I'm kind of putting you on the spot. I know I didn't prep you for this.
For me, lifetime member of BASS. You get Bassmaster magazine. You get you get a few worms, some stickers. You get that lifetime thing, and the most important two things. The two most badass things you get for being a lifetime member of BASS. This is how it used to be. I'm sure it's still the same way. You get a damn belt buckle. I mean, that thing is like God. That. It's straight.
Do you still have your belt buckle?
Of course I do.
Of course I do.
I'm not wearing it. I do wear it.
I think in a future episode that thing should be popping. I mean, wow.
I don't disagree.
Why wouldn't it be?
It says BASS on it. The beautiful logo, the shield, everything. It's probably it definitely needs a little tarnishing. Shine that bad boy up. I'm going to be putting that thing on. And then of course the other thing, the trucker hat, the old school trucker hat that's in that royal blue. But it has that gold band around it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That old
that damn pimp model.
Absolutely.